Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Astro Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright, check it out. Behind me, I got that 2002 Dodge Stratus with the 2.4 engine, and today's part 3 of doing the timing belt and water pump. We started the vehicle up, starts up, looks like there's no bent valve, so we're ready to put this back together. That's what we're going to be doing today, right here on Astro Auto Repairs. This channel is a member of the Astral Stars, which means we have a zero-tolerance policy against the harassment of others. Anybody who violates that policy will be banned. For further information, please visit www.theastralstars.com. Alright guys, here we go, man. We are definitely getting this job together. Alright, let's check out our party line. Our party line, so according to our party line, this part is supposed to be next, but guys, we're going to change up here. And if you're watching this video series before you took yours apart, I want you to take this off first. This should have been way up there at the beginning of the line. What I want to do up here is go up here, and remember this bracket right here? Notice the markings right there? That means the cover set over it, like that. And because we had a hard time getting that bracket off. So what we're going to do, the bolts are still here with it, what we're going to do is change this up. I want to put this here, bring this up in the line, and actually we can, tell you what, let's bring this right here, then the mount, and then that, and then the belts. That's how we're going to do it. And I'm going to leave those, well, this right here is garbage along with the broken belt. Once I get up to this point, put this cover on, then I'm going to jump back to the alternator and the bracket. So let's grab this and grab some tools, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, here we go. We got our bracket with our bolts into it. Now this bolt over here, you want to take out. We are not going to be using that right now. So, let's get our bracket in here, move this thing around, and this thing sucks like crazy, man. You know, sometimes guys, these guys who come up with this stuff, man. Yeah, let's make this, because we know Astral's gonna work on it. So we can make it difficult for him. He don't care. Alright, we got that bracket in there. Let's start it off by a couple bolts. Start these bolts off. Turn them by a couple threads. That's just so we can make sure when we go tighten them up, they're not cross-threaded. Now this one over here, bring that all the way in as much as you can by hand, because it's very tight to get a socket or something in there. Alright, there we go. Now, what I'm going to do here, see, get this out of the way. On this one and this one, what I'm going to do is grab me a 15mm deep socket, 3/8 drive, and I'm going to get my big bill ratchet. I'm going to go ahead, bring that one in, get up under there, and bring that one in. So I'm going to tighten those two up, and then we go on this one over here. Let's get this out of the way. Show you over here. This one right there, that one's kind of difficult to get to. As you can see, we don't have much room, so I'm going to have to use a regular ratchet with a 15mm shallow to tighten that one up. Alright, so let's get those three tightened up. And matter of fact, guys, while we're here, this bolt, where is it at? See, that's why you put bolts. This bolt right here, that we took out right here. It goes over here to the alternator bracket, right up here in the front. So we can leave that right there. All right, so let's get those 3 tightened up, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got those bolts tightened up. The next thing we're gonna do in the pry line, while we got it up in the air, our upper timing cover. So let's set this cover on. And this cover is held on by 2. Make sure this thing is set on right. Let me see on the bottom of this thing. Alright, no, it just sets up there. Two 8mm or 5/16 bolts. I got them right here. Let's start them off by hand. Okay, everything is lined up. Take my big bill ratchet. I like this ratchet, man. Dang, I should have bought one. Why do I have to have a customer buy me one? I mean, a subscriber had to buy me one for me to know the finer things in life. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go in here. Now tighten this up. When you if you're gonna use a cordless ratchet like this, you gotta learn how to control the ratchet. Like, see that? Learn control of it. Or if not, little bolts like this, you will break right off. And if you're using a hand ratchet, just tighten it up till it stops. You can turn it by one finger till it stops, and a little bit more. It's just holding on a plastic cover. That is all. Okay, let's tighten that other one up, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, now what we did, we'll lower down the engine. And what we're gonna do is take off the center bolt right here. Got my pole driver with a 19mm deep. Oh yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. I got my pole driver. All right. Take that bolt out and save this bolt. This is the bolt. Remember, this is the bolt that holds on the crankshaft pulley. All right, then we're going to take our lower timing cover, which is held on by 4 8mm or 5/16 bolts. We're going to set that up there. Like that. And while we're here at the bottom, let's start our 2 bolts at the bottom by a couple threads. Okay, then we're gonna go on top. Let's get our light. And gotta make sure this cover is lined up and all. Of course it's not, as you can see right there. You can see I'm not lined up all the way. Let me go this way with the light. You can see I'm not lined up. So all I gotta do is take out one of those. Oh, it fell already. Gotta make sure this cover is lined up. I'm gonna move that over. There we go. All right. Now, let's get this one in there by a couple threads. Okay. Then, we're going to go down here to the bottom ones and put those back in now. Alright, now to get that other one, I'm going to have to jack the engine up because it's kind of a tight spot. Or can I get that? Yeah, you know what? Let's jack this engine up. and get to that other bolt. Be right back. All right, guys, we'll jack up the engine, and if you look right between there, you'll be able to see, there it is, the bolt hole right there. So I'm gonna reach my hand in here and get that bolt started. And actually, that's gonna be the first one I'm gonna go tighten up. All right, let me go get my tools, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, what I got here is an 8mm deep 1/4" drive with my 1/4" drive ratchet. And remember this hose right here, you can always, and it's maybe a good idea to pick this up and tie it up out of the way so you can really get your hands in here to reach this bolt. And when you tighten up these bolts, that's all you have to do is go to the stops and then a little bit more. All right, next we're gonna go over here to this one, tighten this one up. Then we're gonna lower down the engine to get the bottom two. All right, get that done and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got those two tightened up. Now this guy's right here, this part right here, this is very, very important, very important. I'm gonna wipe off the front of the crankshaft right here. Now, a lot of guys will try to put the harmonic balancer on and then use the bolt to draw it in. If you do that, you take a great chance of stripping that bolt out. Because remember, this thing is pressed on. And sometimes, if you don't grab enough threads, you will strip that out. So, I'll show you the cool way of doing this. First you want to do, take just a dab of little white lithium grease. Put it right on the front of it. Now, for this next part, what you're going to need is a nice 4x4 piece of wood, or this is landscape timber. And you're going to need your Thor's hammer. Yeah, yeah, buddy. Don't get no carpenter's hammer, or this is not going to work. All right, what you want to do is take your harmonic balancer, set it up there, into place. Take your Thor's hammer. You just want to tap it a little bit, make sure it's going on straight. Now let's back up here. Now what you want to do is take your wood, set it right there. Let me make sure we get a good look at this. Set your wood right there. Take your Thor's hammer. Now you heard that sound? You hear that like a dull sound now? That's how you know you're all the way back. No problem whatsoever. Take your 19mm bolt, put it in. Now I'm going to use my pawl driver, but I want you to use, you got to use a lot more than that. Matter of fact, I should get my, let me get my impact gun, and then we're going to tighten that up. So let me get my 1/2" drive impact gun, tighten that up, and that is done. That's how you do that. All right? We'll be right back. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to do, you know what? Before we put out, I was going to put our motor mount in, but before we do that, let's look up under here. There's our power steering over there, our power steering pump and all. Now we got room in there. Let's get our power steering belt on. The one way in the back. Let's put that up there. And remember, this thing will slide back and forth. So, hopefully I can get this in one hand. And of course Alright, so actually what I gotta do, guys, I gotta put my hand back here, pull it forward like that. Can you you see that? Yeah. And then put that belt on. So let me get that done, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, we got a belt on. Now, to tighten this up, they expect you to put a 1/2 inch drive, something right between there, right inside there, like a ratchet or something. But what I'm gonna do, I got me a short little pry bar, or even a nice thick screwdriver, and I'm gonna set it right between here. Pry back on it. There you go, right there. There where my hand's at. There you go. Pry back on it to tighten up, and then my other hand, we got a 13mm bolt right there, and a 13mm nut right in the back. I'm gonna bring them in a little bit. And I'm using a short 13mm, or you can use a ratchet. I'm gonna use a wrench. And I'm gonna tighten that up. All right, so pry back on it and tighten it up with the wrench or the ratchet. Be right back. All right, guys, I tighten up the bolt up here. Now I could take my thing out, my pry bar out, and I can go back here and tighten up this one nut back there. Then we're gonna go to the top and tighten up the bolt that allows the power steering pump to swivel. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we jacked the engine back up. I got my light down here. Now for this one, you're gonna need a 13mm shallow socket, and you want to use a long handle 3/8 drive ratchet. I got a swivel head in here just in case, and if you look down there, you'll see the bolt that I'm gonna go to. Right there. That's your swivel bolt. So go in there. Tighten that bolt up. Alright. Yes. Maybe I shouldn't have used a swivel head. It's okay. Alright, so let's tighten that up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got everything set up. The next thing we're going to do is put our mount in. We want to pick our cooling lines up. Get our mount in there like this. Bring it over. Okay. Make sure all these wiring harness and everything is out of the way, and this thing is a nightmare. And make sure my wiring harness is out of the way. Okay, now that we got that situated, what we're going to do is take out 3 short 13mm bolts. And we're going to go in there and just start them off inside the mount. We're not going to tighten them up, we're just starting them off. And all this is being done while the engine is still up in the air. All right, now what we're going to do is lower the engine down just a little bit. So our mount can swivel. Now we might have a problem lining up because we got those the mount we took off in the beginning of part 1. You might well say the right mount on the side of the engine. We took that out, so it might not be setting in, which might be causing us not to line up fully on this. But that's good. I just want to get that lined up and get that in there so we can get our alternator bracket on. So let's grab our alternator bracket and we'll be right back. You know, guys, I changed my mind. What I want to do here, check this out. We're going to go up under there And you can see right down into there. I mean, we're almost lined up. But instead of doing that, we're going to get that lined up now. Get that in there, because this will be a lot easier to get that bolt over here and get these hoses into place. So what we need to do now is go up under here and see where our mount is. And yeah, I'm looking at it over there. That mount is way off. Huh. Let's go down a little bit more. Okay, I'm looking right over there. Looking at our mount right there. That's good. Okay, let's go down a little bit more. How we over here? We get this thing lined up. Oh yeah, actually, look at that. I am just about. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm just about perfect right there. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna see if I can get these. Here's my 2 long bolts. And let's go up underneath here. Okay. Those 2 bolts go right there. So it looks like we've lined up to one. Okay, got one started. Dang it, I knew it had been too good to be true. Okay, let's go on top and see if we can see this other one. Yes. I'm close. What the deuce? Okay, let's see if we can get this again. Dang it. Dang it. Can I see up through the hole? Okay. I see it. It's got to go back just so if I can put this at the angle. Yeah. You know, I need a pry bar. So it looks like the mount has to be. Looks like this mount has to be twisted back just a little bit. What if I pry it back, stick my pry bar to hold it in place, and then come under here and voila! Yeah, buddy! Alright, we got that down there. Great. Alright, I still don't want to tighten that up yet. I got all the bolts lined up in here, ready to go. But what I want to do now is go up under there and start our 3 bolts on that motor mount. So we can get those situated so I can move the engine around as much as needed. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, let's get up under here. see. Here's our mount. This thing needs some lighting in here. Okay, there's our mount. It's in place. And we got our 3 long bolts here. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. And perfect. Great. That is great, man. They all lined up perfectly. So we're gonna do down, because it's still a little slack here. So I'm gonna do lower down the engine just a little bit, and then we're gonna tighten those up. Right back. All right, guys. Let's see if we can hold this camera here. I got my 15mm deep 1/2" drive impact with my cord, with I call it on my air gun. I'm going here. Tighten all 3 up, and then, matter of fact, let's tighten this up. Dang it. And then what we're gonna do is go up here and put our exhaust system in. Let me see if we can get some lighting here. There we go. All right. If your gasket is worn out, it's a good time to replace it. This one looks in very good condition. It looks like it was leaking a little bit. Actually, yeah, see right over there? Looks like it was leaking. But we're gonna put it back up in there and put our 4 13mm bolts in there. And what we're gonna be using is a 12-inch 1/2" drive extension with a 4 1/4" extension, 4 1/4" 1/2" drive extension, a 1-inch wobble extension, and a 13mm, or I'm using a 1/2" drive shallow socket. And again, just like from taking it apart, we're going to be bringing the tool assembly, the setup, back through here, straight up, and it's going to come right up there and tighten up the bolts. All right, let's get that done, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got that done. We are looking good on this job. Everything, I mean, this job is coming out great. The next thing you're going to need is 2 10mm screws. What these screws are for, while we got this old mount and all this out, here's our cooling line assembly, and right here, this screw is going to go right here, and then the other one, let's see if we get underneath and get this. And you're going to need your big bill ratchet with your 10mm shallow socket. Let's go up under here. Let's get our light just in case we can't see anything. All right. Up under the vehicle. Dang it. Figures. I'm gonna have to move this jack out of the way so we can see this better. Let me get this jack. Look how long this thing has been sitting up here, man. What the deuce? All right, let me move this jack out the way so I can show you this other where this other screw goes at. Be right back. Okay. Here we go. There's our axle on the passenger side going down. There's our power steering pump right there, and right there at that point you'll see where the screw goes at. So let's see if I can use my right hand and film at the same time, which is going to suck. Get my right hand through here. Alright, camera shut off. I'm going to get my hand right between here and get that screw started in there. Can you see that screw up there? Yep. Alright, then I'm gonna get my big bill ratchet with my 10 millimeter where I want it. Go around this way and tighten both of them up. Alright, so let's get those tightened up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got that pipe bolted in. That is great. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna reach down here where our cooling hose is. We're gonna hook that up. And now get us a pair of needle nose pliers and bring this clamp up on the hose. Get everything out of the way. So let's go get our needle nose. Be right back. Alright guys, got me a pair of needle nose pliers. What I'm gonna do is go down here. You can see where I'm at. Squeeze this clamp, bring this clamp up to there. There we go. And release it. Great. Alright, next thing we do, now we can put our jack back up under the engine. We can just jack it up. See the gap we have between the mount and the engine? We need to put our jack back up under there and jack it up just till it meets, and then we're going to tighten up the motor mount bolts. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we got our jack up under there, and let's see, you see our gap right there. Let's jack this up. Oh, no, actually, yeah, jacking it up. Great, perfect. Alright, what we're going to do, I'm going to take my 9, what's this, 9 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch drive extension with my 13 millimeter deep 1/2 inch drive and my air gun. And what we're going to do is tighten up, get this out the way, the 3 bolts right there. We're not done yet. Now what you want to do is change this over to the 15 millimeter deep. If it don't roll away on you. Change this over to the 15. And then we got the 2 bolts going in from the bottom. Grab my gun. And there's our bolts right there. So let's get those tightened up. Now that is done. We can take our jack and all this, get it out of here. We'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're ready to put our alternator bracket on. Let me show you to put this down here. Let's take out this bolt right here. Make sure you can see this. Take out this bolt. And then we got our 3 15 millimeter bolts that's actually going to hold it in. Let me show you. 1, 2, and 2 and 3 right there. 1, 2, 3. Where's you know, this is 3 right there. Alright, so let's lower this assembly down in there. Try to keep the bolts inside. Alright, let's start our bolts by hand. Now that I got that, let me take the camera down. the way. This is a tensioner. Oh man, make sure, see this tensioner right here? See, I got it over there. That's wrong. I got to get that tensioner and swing it over to the side. It's got to swing over to this side. So what I got to do is take these back out. This around here. Dang it. And then put them in. That's got to swing around that way for that one bolt to go through there. Alright, let's get these bolts started. 1, 2, and I dropped the other one up under here somewhere. Where the heck? Oh, there it is over there. And to tighten these up, what I'm going to be using is my big bill ratchet with my 15mm deep socket, 3/8 drive. And before I tighten them up, let's get this one bolt and put in here to make sure it is going in there and everything is lining up. I'm not going to tighten it up yet, just going to keep it just like that. Alright, let's get our big bill. We're going to tighten those 3 up. Be right back. Alright guys, got those tightened up. The next thing we do is tighten up this bolt right here. This is a 13mm. I'm using a 13mm deep 3/8 drive, and I'm using my air ratchet this time because my battery is going dead on the big bill ratchet. Dang it. So let's get this tightened up, and then at the same time, you know what? I took this off of here. Let's go connect this coolant temperature sensor. Push it in, and then push the little red tab in. Lock it into place. Great. Okay, let's get this tightened up, and then we're going to grab our alternator. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we got is our alternator. Alternator held on by 3 13mm bolts, which is still in the alternator. And that's all we have to do is bring the alternator over, line up the bolts, start them off by a couple threads. It's just so we don't cross thread them. Thing's crooked as all heck, man. What the heck? Alright, then we're going to grab our same 13mm ratchet, air ratchet with our 13mm deep 3/8 drive socket. And we're going to go ahead and tighten all 3 of those up. Be right back. Alright guys, that is done. Man, this job is coming out good. It's a lot easier putting it together than it was taking it apart. Alright, let's get our electrical connector onto our alternator. Take off our 13mm nut right here. Put our wire going onto the battery. Put that on. Put our nut back on. Let's connect our electrical connector. We're going to push it on until we hear a little click. That we know we're in place. Take our 13mm deep again. Guys, I don't really want to do this. Do not use, I don't want you using air tools on this. I'm going to bring it down, and then, because what I want you to do is don't use your air tools or cordless tools on this, because that thing, you can break that regulator inside there. Use your regular ratchet, go till it stops, and a little bit more. That's it. Let's put our cover back on, And before we put this stuff back together, let's go get our belt and put that on. We'll be right back. All right, guys, let's put our belt on. Now what we're gonna do is put our belt down through here. Around the alternator. Around the tensioner, and then down there around the AC compressor. So it's going to go like this, come around and go around right there. Now what we're going to do here, let me set our camera up over here. Alright, I don't know if you can see the hole right there, which is a 3/8. So I'm going to use a 9-inch 3/8 drive ratchet extension with my 3/8 drive ratchet, and you're going to be putting it into the tightening position. And that thing sucks. You know what? Just in case that get in our way, let's change that to a 4-inch. Be better. Be right back. Okay, got my 4-inch extension to go into there. Yeah, let me get up under here. Okay, I got my ratchet going into the on position. Bring my belt, bring it around. Actually, let me go put it on top of the crankshaft, the harmonic balancer, so we can get it ready. Whoops. This gotta go above the belt like that. Alright, then as we tighten it up, we go ahead and put our belt on. Okay, then release it. Make sure all the grooves are lined up, which they are. It's perfect. Got them all lined up, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we'll do, got our little hose right here. Let's put that hose on, grab our needle nose. Bring this clamp forward. Okay, release it. Okay, that's good. Everything is good. We're good and good and good. We're good. All right, the next thing we do, we're gonna grab our expansion tank. All right, let's grab that. We'll be right back. All right, guys, kind of made a mistake here. Had to take this hose back off. Our power steering pump reservoir has to come down between there first. And let's get our, then we can bring our expansion tank down. Take our two 10mm screws out. Okay, let's set this into place. Put our screws back into place, but we're not going to tighten them up just yet. All right, now what I'm going to do here is grab my AC lines, bring them over, and while I got this out like this, remember those clips we took off? Let's pop that on, and let's get our other one and pop that on, and then we're going to lower that down in there. So let me get that other one. I'll be right back. All right, got the other clip. Put that on. Let's get this pushed back there. Get our receiver dryer out of the way. Man, guys, I'm telling you right now, man, this thing is a mess. All right, let's get our light. Now we got our two, before we do anything else around here, our two T30 bolts. Our expansion valve right there. We gotta put that in there, make sure it lines up, and get those two started. Okay, so, oh man, can I get this to, no, I'm not even gonna be able to film this, guys. So let me get that lined up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, this is what I'm gonna do here. I got my 14.5 inch, 14 inch, 1/4 inch drive extension with my T30 socket on it, my two bolts. I'm gonna set my bolts into the valve already. So we got those going in there. Then what I'm gonna do is lower them down. And one hand is going to hold it in place, and the other hand is going to start screwing them in. Make sure they are lining up and all. Alright, just got one. And I just got two. And got both of them lined up. This little wobble extension is great. So let me get my 1/4 inch drive ratchet. Alright, and then we're gonna go ahead and start tightening those up. And I want to bring them down evenly. I'm going to alternate back and forth between them. Alright, so let's get those tightened up. And we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got that done. Now I'm not gonna put this on just yet, just in case I gotta move around here. Now what I'm gonna do is, remember this clamp, the hose clamp we put on over here? Going to the power steering reservoir. Gotta be picked up. So we're gonna pull that hose off, and at the same time pull that plug that up, and hopefully not lose too much fluid. So I'm gonna have to do this with two hands. So let me get that done and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we got that connected. The next step is going to be the fun part. Why? Because we're just about done. Alright, what you want to do here is take out the 10mm bolt here. We're going to move this clamp forward. Get that lined up. Get that started in there. We got our two 10mm bolts or screws into the expansion tank already. Then we got a 10mm bolt over here we got to take out. And an 8mm bolt down here we got to take out. Alright, we want to bring our power steering reservoir over here to the side, and on the bottom, right down into there, hold on, right down there, you see that little opening? There's a little tab on the bottom of the power steering power steering reservoir that's got to fit down into there. And then it'll line up right. Line this bolt right down into there. Make sure that goes down in there. Yeah, of course. Because I don't have nothing better to do but sit over here. There we go. And then over here, for the receiver dryer, that's all we got to do is bend that over into place. And that's where the and that's with a 8mm bolt goes down there. And this one goes over to here. And get that started. Alright, now you want to grab your pole driver, and you want to grab a deep 10mm and a deep 5/16 or 8mm socket, 3/8 drive. Hook it up to your pole driver. Your 10mm, let's tighten this one up. Tighten this one up. Tighten this one up. And tighten this one up. Then switch over to your 8mm or 5/16 and tighten the receiver dryer bolt up. And while we're over here, let's connect this overflow hose. Then let's put our water hose back on. Alright, and bring that clamp up there. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we'll do, let's get our upper radiator hose. Stick that down. Put it on the housing up here. And then, you know what we gotta do, guys? Let's use this little fireball right here. Because remember, all that stuff built up in there. Let's try to get some of that out of there. This is definitely going to be a problem inside this cooling system. Definitely. So let's get this hose hooked up. And then what we're going to do is bring those clamps forward. Right back. Alright, got my hose clamp pliers. I love these things, man. These things are great. And release. And then go down here and get our other ones on. We'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do, we're getting ready to put some antifreeze in this, but what we got to do is open up the bleed screw. See that screw right there? That's the bleed screw. It's a 10mm. Use a 10mm deep 3/8 drive with a 12-inch 3/8 drive extension, and that's all we want to do. You just don't take it out, just open it up a little bit. And what that does is, as you filling antifreeze up in the system, it bleeds out right through there. So you don't have to worry about starting it up, running. You know what? Let me check the oil of this thing. Let's check that again. Yeah, that thing's way below minimum. This thing needs some oil too. This thing has definitely been neglected. And somebody in the comment section mentioned something about the oil filter. Yeah, that look like it been there a while. Ugh, man, I don't know. Alright, so we got that open. Customer dropped off some 50/50 antifreeze. This whole system should be flushed out. No, this is a lot of stuff in here. So let's go ahead. Let's start pouring in the antifreeze and fill it up until we see antifreeze come out of here. And once the antifreeze starts coming out of here, we close this off and then put the cap on. All right. Also, I'm gonna get a quart of oil and put in here because I don't want this thing blowing up on my watch. All right. We'll be right back. All right. There you go, guys. I started pouring in. And you see it pouring out right here. And actually, I think I'm gonna pour a little bit more because that still look like a little rust coming out of there. Man. All right. Let's close that off. And guys, when you close this bleed screw off, just close till it stops, and I mean just a little bit more, because you can definitely break that thing off in there. Alright, the system is bled. Take out cap, put it on. This thing, I'm recommending a complete flush, thermostat, the whole 9 yards in this thing, man. Alright, that's done. Now, we get our inner fender well, inner fender cover with the screws and everything in it. What the heck is this? Oh, okay, that's where we bled out. I'm about to say, wait a minute here, that's a lot of... But why is it on that side of the engine? Okay, it's running down here. Okay, good. That would suck. Let's get our fender, inner fender well. Hook it up in here. Alright, let's get this up in there and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I got my inner fender back in. Put the clips in. I remember down here it was kind of loose. Just gotta sit here, tighten up my 3 7mm screws. And the one straight up here. Everything's looking good, everything's connected. Let's get all our tools out of here. Grab my 8mm deep, 1/4" drive, 1/4" drive ratchet. Let's go over here to this side. Connect our negative battery terminal. And then we're gonna get the keys and start this. Let's start this up and let it run. Be right back. All right, guys. Now let's hear how it sounds. Got the exhaust and everything hooked up. Remember, we have no idea how this vehicle ran before it got to us. We never worked on this. This is the first time we ever did anything. Notice the check engine light came on really quick. Really quick. Don't run that bad. But maybe the check engine light was on before. Maybe it had a misfire. Those are the original spark plug wires, huh? Okay. I don't run that bad. For the neglect. Alright guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it run for a little while. Make sure it's good. And in the meantime, while it's running, I'm going to go ahead and throw these tires on and get this inner fender well cover back on over here. Be right back. Alright guys, got all the tires on. Oh, forgot the hubcaps. That's what I was waiting for right there. Alright, I wanted to make sure that the fans did come on. I don't see no leaks. That was from before, old stuff. So that's it guys, this thing is done. Runs pretty good. Not bad. You know, funny, out of and you guys know out of the videos we did for the interference engines, we haven't had one that the valves are actually bent. So either we're good or been lucky. I'm not sure. Alright, check that out. Yeah, boy. That job is done. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, there you have it. The end of part 3 and the end of this car. 2002 Dodge Stratus 2.4 engine, water pump and timing belt. One of the subscribers asked, what about the water pump? Did it seize up? and caused the belt to break. It counts kind of raggedy, but no, it didn't seize up. It was turning. Maybe it was just old. A lot of stains around here. Hopefully the leak was coming from the water pump. I'm not sure. But if you have any comments, questions, be sure to put them in the comment section below, or you can email me direct to tim@astralautorepairs.com. Guys, girls, this is Timmy from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. See you next time.